they can. What is it? What is it? It's the camera. Hi, Lily. Not sure what to really say out here. Just thought I would come out with the camera for a little bit. Up close. I can give you a little bit of a rundown on how we got here. About 6 years ago, just before the pandemic hit, we decided to buy bigger property. And we looked for a long time because we knew that we wanted to really rescue horses. We had been rescuing horses, but needed to have more property to really get this thing going. So we looked for a long time and couldn't find anything. And I finally said, I give up. I'm not looking anymore. The very next morning, my husband said, I think I found our house. And he just sent me a picture of our cute little log home and said, it's on 96 acres. And I said, well, let's go see it on Friday. This was a Wednesday. He says, I already set an appointment for Saturday, and I said, change it to Friday. We went up, and within an hour, we had an offer on the table for them, and I went home and wrote them a letter and told them what we planned to do with the land. And they accepted our offer, and so began the process. When we came here, there was nothing here except for that little shed way over there. There was a barn here originally, but sadly, the couple that was here was elderly, and the woman did end up having Alzheimer's, and she accidentally burnt down the barn. So we had to build a barn. So we built the barn even before we got here, and made our paddock. And our paddock originally went to probably right about over there. So they had that much space to run and play for the first almost year, which isn't bad. It doesn't look like a whole ton, but it isn't bad. And then we added on some more space for the paddock. And then we started clearing land for the pastures. And boy, is it a lot more work than people would believe. It took many, many hours, many thousands of dollars, blood, sweat, and tears. It was all heavy, heavy forest, just like it is over there. And lots and lots and lots of pickers and raspberries, and just, it was a mess. And actually there's even a lot of trash out here in the woods. And we cleaned it all up. We took the trees out. We left some rocks for, hey, you can't move them, and some to make it look nice. And this was their first little pasture. And out there, it runs from there down that all the way through back over there, probably about 3 acres that we're going to try to fence this year. It's just going to be about $1,000, maybe a little bit more, because we have to buy a solar charger for it, for the electric fence, because it can only go so far. And we don't want it weak, because you may have seen the short that we put up of the bear that came to visit. We just don't want any trouble. So here we are, 6 years later. Seems like taking us a very long time. That did slow us down, of course. We put the grazing muzzles on them to slow them down on eating. They do have holes in the bottom down here, but they can get the grass through. It's just so much slower. Because if not, they can colic. They can get laminitis, which could end up killing them. So they all wear them from Indy. Indy was our first boy. He was actually rescued by somebody else that could not keep him. He wasn't what they thought he was. He was rescued from a slaughter pen in Canada. Um, they thought that he was trained, and he was very far from trained. So we took him in, and we taught him everything that he needs to know. He's a very good boy. We could go not riding him for 2 years and get right back up on him. Lacey we rescued quite a while ago, and she was 350 pounds underweight, very, very, very sick. Basically what they call shipping fever. And we brought her home to give her a respectable death instead of in the slaughter pipeline. When we went to go get her, it took us 17 hours to drive there and back. And when we got her to her quarantine, we had the vet out the next morning. Like, that was just hours later. We didn't get in until after we were pulling in at after midnight. And they got her onto meds. And I went to visit her every day, and it took me an hour and 10 minutes to get her to see her each way. And we slowly watched her to get better. There is a video called Lacey's Journey Home. If you just search that on YouTube, you can see the brief clip of her first almost year. Once we got her home 5 weeks after rescue, our vet came out. She was home, and our vet came out, and he said, it's still touch and go. She's going to make it. And you have 4. And when do you expect number 5? And I said, please, let's just make sure she can make it. He said, well, you have until March. And my knees literally hit the floor because this right there was number 5. She was a surprise. We didn't know. We've helped rescue others along the way. We've lost one to a very rare lung disease. She was a racehorse at one point. It's called Jake's Joy. And then also they changed the racing name to A Bit at a Time. Now this here is Diesel. Diesel came from a farm down in Massachusetts where he just was not being taken care of at all. He came full of tick bites and underweight and unvaccinated, hooves overgrown, and he's in very good shape now. It's a little pudgy, but they all are. They're all a little pudgy. I get that. I have a soft heart when I see them wanting something to eat. This is Brandy. And Brandy we rescued just before we moved here 5 years ago. And she was at the slaughter pen, and she had nobody interested in her. So we said, let's go ahead and bring her home and see what we can do to help her. She ended up she has kissing spine, where the vertebrae are supposed to float, and hers actually touch each other. So she could never ever be ridden because that would just jam those bones together. Um, we cannot do surgery on her. We considered it. There is a surgery that we could do, but she would have to be in a stall for like 6 to 8 weeks, and she cannot be in a stall. She can't be in the stall for 6 to 8 minutes. She's just terrible. She must have some anxiety about it. So we treat her with chiropractic care and massage therapy, medicine when needed, and she seems to be doing just fine for now. But she just will never ever be ridden. There's no fixing it for her, for her. And that's the crew that I have right now. I'm hoping to add to our little group. We do have the money to build a quarantine barn as soon as that we have raised through the generosity of so many. And we just truly have to find time between working full time, taking in there, of adding to our situation here of constantly trying to clear a little land and add some fencing or fix some fencing or putting up sunshades or you name it. You name it, we're always doing something to try to improve and better and make it bigger. And so once we can start getting some steady donors, I think that we will be able to do a bit more. Because right now we've already sunk probably close to $250,000 of our own money into getting this going. And but that's where we're at right now. I don't know what I just did. Oh no, no green screen, no retouch. Oh dear. I guess oh, yeah, text it. You can tell I'm very new to going live. If anybody has any suggestions on what they'd like to see or what they'd like me to do, feel free to let me know. We're very, very new to this streaming. So, I mean, yes, we've been doing it for maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but it's literally very, very basic what I do. Just trying to share these precious souls with everyone. Watch Lacey's journey home. That's when you'll know why we do what we do. All right. Thanks, guys.